I want to talk to you about three conversations you can have with yourself. And these are three conversations that I'm having with myself. I think it's so valuable that we talk to ourselves, and we don't just go through the motions every single day, that we are intentional about our lives, that we're intentional about improving our lives, we're intentional about doing things better. And so the first conversation, of course, is a money conversation. The first conversation is a money conversation. And I believe that women, we don't love ourselves enough to take care of ourselves for our future. And this money conversation that we have with ourselves is really about, am I saving money? Am I saving enough money? Do I have enough to live off of you for emergency fund? It's 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever your goal is for yourself. Am I saving enough for retirement? Do I have enough where I can live comfortably in retirement? And so it is important to examine the expenses that we're spending the things that we're spending our money on. And so it is important that we have a serious money conversation with ourselves and ask ourselves, am I spending way too much on wants every single month? Am I preparing for my future? If things were to happen and I couldn't work for a year or 2 years, am I able to continue to live and take care of myself, or am I going to be depending on somebody else? So this is a money conversation, super important conversation that women need to have with themselves. The second conversation is, what am I ignoring? And I've been hearing this over and over again, and I believe it's a crucial conversation that we as women should have. And I believe that we have intuition that we ignore, we bury, we don't trust ourselves. And there are things around us that we are ignoring or missing that need to be discussed or dealt with or improved. And so I think it's important that we look at what boundaries do we need to set, what boundaries we have let people kind of run all over or we haven't upheld. But we got to ask ourselves important questions for ourselves. And this conversation is, what am I ignoring? That's the most important thing to ask ourselves, is what am I ignoring? Or what do I need to address? Or what is affecting my life? We gotta ask ourselves these questions, and then we got to deal with it accordingly. A lot of times we ignore it because it's easier to ignore. But I think that at some point it blows up in our face, and it's our own fault because we haven't dealt with it. We haven't sit down and ask ourselves, on a regular basis, what is it that I need to address, or what am I ignoring? The third conversation we need to have with ourselves is, who am I? What do I want? Where do I see myself in the future?